I never planned on watching The Last of Us. I'd never played the games, and zombie post-apocalyptic, I can't say that word, I don't know why. Those types of shows aren't really my thing. I don't really enjoy them. I never have in the past. But after actually hearing that this was a pretty good video game adaptation, I decided that I'll check it out. I didn't want to make this review until I saw at least 2 episodes, because sometimes the first is boring or too slow or way too busy at setting things up to really show the potential of the show and to be as entertaining as I want it to be. And I'm really glad I waited, because after watching the first 2 episodes, I have to say that I'm pleasantly surprised with The Last of Us. The show takes place in a world taken over by a fungus that infects humans and makes them pretty much zombies. 20 years after the fungus started spreading, humanity still has no cure and is controlled by a group called Fedra. I believe I'm remembering that correctly. But a group of resistance fighters discovers Ellie, who is immune to the fungus, and hopes that she is the answer that will bring an end to the fungus. It is now up to Joel to protect her and to get her to the proper people safely, and hopefully find a cure that will save humanity. Now, something I wasn't expecting going into the show was how terrifying it was, and I don't mean that in the sense that it has a ton of jump scares or that the visuals in and of themselves are horrifying, but rather the fact that this feels realistic. Maybe because we've experienced a pandemic in our lifetime, I don't know, but this feels like it could happen. The opening scenes of both of the episodes were absolutely frightening. Just the way they explained it, and you were like, wait, could that actually happen? And I think it strengthens the show that it doesn't feel like some random zombie apocalypse that we've seen 100 times, but rather it feels realistic, and it feels real. But yeah, those first 2 opening scenes were, quite frankly, really scary. I think the biggest question everyone had on their mind going into the show, at least I did, was how faithful it was going to be to the source material. Now, I have no real way to know this or determine this because, as I've said earlier, I haven't played the games. But from the clips that I've seen circulate, it does seem to do a lot of things right and does seem to stay mostly faithful. Even if it didn't, the show itself is still pretty good. Most bad video game adaptations that I've seen aren't even good with the changes they've made. So the fact that this is just good by itself, I think shows that it's a pretty good adaptation. Now, I can be wrong because, again, I haven't played the games, but I think the fact that this is an entertaining show is a good sign already. Now, it's way too early to say if it's a definitely good adaptation, but it's looking pretty good right now. The acting in the show is pretty great, especially in the beginning of the first episode and then most of the second one as well. I really like Pedro Pascal as Joel. I think I've yet to find anything that I don't like Pedro Pascal in. Well, but we don't talk about that one. We don't talk about that. I really like him as Joel, though I feel like the writing for his character could have been better. I really like Joel. I think the majority of my problems with him have to do with the writing and less with Pascal's performance. I also thought Bella Ramsey does a great job as Ellie. I will say that the first episode is kind of slow. And it is super long. I think it was an hour 30. It felt really long. I felt every second of it. Again, the opening sequence was pretty great. But after that, once it jumped to the present, it really dragged on. I was there going, okay, when's it going to pick up? When's it going to pick up? And it didn't really. I honestly debated whether or not I was going to watch the second episode. And I'm glad I did because I actually really enjoyed the second episode. It was a lot better. Finally getting to watch Joel and Ellie really interact together. And just watching them go through the fallen world that's around them is pretty great. I also just thought it was cool that we finally got to see them fight the zombies. I don't know what the proper name for them are, so I'm just going to call them zombies here. If you know, leave it down in the comment section. I thought all those sequences were directed really well. They felt tense and were just fun to watch. And I think the fact that I haven't played the games kind of made this more enjoyable, at least for me, not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing, which characters are safe, which ones are going to make it out. I'd say even if you haven't played the games, you should definitely check this out. It doesn't ruin anything if you haven't played it. There just may be a couple references you don't pick up on, which I'm sure there were a ton that I didn't notice. But for how surprised I was at the show so far, I don't know if I'll keep watching. The show is by no means bad, and I definitely don't dislike it. But as I said earlier, this type of genre isn't really something I enjoy watching. I don't want to force myself to watch something that I don't really find enjoyable. Shows and movies are things that I want to enjoy watching, that I want to kick back and not have to think too hard about. And this just isn't my type of show to be able to do that with. That being said, if you're a fan of zombie movies or that kind of media, or a fan of the game, or just looking for a new show to watch, I definitely recommend this. It's good, it's decent, it's nothing groundbreaking in my opinion, at least not yet. Definitely, if you were bored by the first episode, I would say wait till the second, till you judge whether or not you should watch it more. But I don't know if I'll finish this. Maybe when the season's ended, I'll go back and watch them all in like a day or so, and then we'll see what I think then. But this isn't my type of show. I definitely see what the hype kind of is about, and I definitely agree with a lot of the points being said around. It's a good show, and you can tell that the creators not only recognize the source material, but also kind of love it. I think for more adaptations in the future, like this needs to be a common theme, that those that are creating it, those that are working on it, are really fans of the source material. That's about it for me. I don't have much more to say because the season's not over and there's still a lot more episodes to come out. So I don't have anything more to say. Let me know what y'all thoughts are down in the comment section below. Did you like the first 2 episodes? What were your thoughts on how they adapted it from the game? Try to keep it spoiler free. I don't think there was a ton in the first 2 episodes that would ruin anything if it was spoiled, but sometimes it's better to be safe than sorry. As always, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day. And until the next time, peace out, bro skillets.